Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Barb Schlinker, host of the program and owner broker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, before people put their homes on the market, they often want to know the cost of selling a home. How do they know the cost of selling a home and how much they will put in their pocket when it does sell?
Well, I mean, real estate is definitely negotiable. Everything has to be in writing. So I have some agents that think they're the master negotiator of the universe, and they'll call and go, "Hey, will your seller accept this? If they do, we'll write an offer. Otherwise, we won't." It's just, to me, it's very unprofessional. It tells the seller that they're not really serious. They're just fishing. And it's not very impressive. But I will tell you that people believe it when you put it in writing. Our state contracts, which are called a contract to buy and sell real estate, are 20 plus pages long, and they have to sign it and they have to substantiate that they have the ability to buy with either a pre-approval or proof of funds. That looks more serious than just a phone conversation. And it's law anyway. It doesn't matter what's said on the phone. If it's not in writing, it's not real. So when it comes to what does it cost to sell a home, really the net number has to do with a lot of different factors. So it starts with pricing to get an offer. Until you get an offer and you have an agreement, you don't know what that number is. You can be in the ballpark and be pretty close, but pricing a home incorrectly and waiting month after month after month to get a buyer can actually cost you more money because you have to hold the carrying cost. Now, if you're living there, it's no problem. But I couldn't believe when I was showing last weekend, almost absolutely every home that we looked at was not occupied. So there's some cost to that. You got to pay utilities. None of them had the snow removed, right? You got to pay to have the snow removed. You have to pay the mortgage. All that stuff costs money over time. So how long are you going to have the house sitting there and it not selling? You have to make a decision about that first. So pricing at what I call realistically versus optimistically generally gets the home sold in a relatively quick amount of time. And, according to national studies, a seller that prices high and then slowly walks the price down is going to net less money, right? And you can't price it according to the Zillow's estimates. You can't price it necessarily to similar sales. You have to look at your home very objectively and go, I want to sell. So here's an example. I met with a seller recently and I said, I think it's worth this number. However, do you want to wait 126 days for it to get a contract and have buyers pick it apart? Or you want to sell it fast? He goes, I want it fast. So he priced it about 5% below what it should sell for. We had 100 people at the open house and it sold for 26,000 over asking. Okay. Why is that? Because the buyers saw it as the best deal, even though there's lots of homes on the market, right? Buyers saw it as the best deal for their budget at the time. So pricing is a critical part of it. And a lot of people think if they build in money for negotiating room, that's going to net them more money. And it's actually just the opposite. You have to consider everything. What's the competition? How pretty is the house compared to competition? How realistic is the house in pricing? Like if it needs a little bit of work and a little bit of updating, price it realistically. I helped a family 2 years ago. Nice location, pretty views. It wasn't perfect. It had granite counters. The appliances were a little roughed up. She did replace flooring. So she did the basics, which was critical. And her husband's like, I said, I think it's worth this much. Do you want to price there? He goes, no, you told us to price realistically. So he came in about 25,000 less, huge dog pile of buyers, and it sold for 50,000 over asking. It's just the opposite of what you would think. And that's usually the best way to make it work. So how do you figure out that number? Basically, you're comparing apples to apples first, but you're also looking at what the current competition is, and especially the homes that are getting contracts right now. That would tell you what the market's doing right now. So what are the costs to selling a house? A lot of people really go for the commission. Well, what's your commission? They ask that question. But At the end of the day, most people's largest expense is the mortgage, okay? Then the next largest expense actually could be repairs. I've seen extraordinary expenses for repairs. Things like septic systems, $30,000. Things like new roofs could be $20,000, $30,000, right? And a lot of people wait until the unlicensed inspector, after they go under contract, calls out the house for its flaws before they actually address getting bids for the repairs. And to me, that's a big mistake. Some of the big ticket items that I see all the time are roofs, sewer lines, and then paint and carpet's really just a cosmetic thing. It's not really that expensive. But a lot of people think it's commission. It's not commission. That's a minor cost, right? And then lately, the buyers have been asking the seller to pay some of their loan closing costs. In other words, they don't have as much cash to pay to try to cover their loan closing cost and or buy down their interest rate. So they ask the seller to pay it, right? But everything is negotiable. There's been so many times that if the buyer was in that situation, I went up in price to cover their deficit in cash. And as long as it's fairly reasonable, the buyer's like, oh, okay, I only have to put $200 more down, right? My loan might be just a tad bigger, but I get the house, right? So I'll give you an example of recent bidding war that I had. And it was fun to create this big wide spreadsheet and show them every expense. And the critical data point was what was the bottom line. Now, in this case, the seller did not accept the highest offer because the highest offer was less likely to get to the finish line. They picked the next highest offer that actually was going to close fast and get it done very quickly, because that was what his motivation was. Not sell fast, not sell, maximize every dollar they possibly could, but by pricing it lower and getting multiple offers, all those buyers threw their best hat, their highest and best offer in the ring, and he ended up getting the right buyer for the house. So if you are thinking of making a move, this is what we do for sellers every day. We sit down with them, we look at their home, we give them ideas on where to price realistically, regardless of the condition of the home, show them exactly what all their expenses are and how much they're going to put in their pocket after all expenses are paid off when it sells. We do this all the time for folks. It's a free service. You're never obligated to sell with us. Just give us a call, 719-301-3900, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. You can listen to the replays of the show anytime you'd like on the major podcast platforms, plus Barb's website, barbhasthebuyers.com. Just look for Barb Schlinker. If you're thinking of making a move, call Barb, 719-301-3900. Barb, you've got some hot new listings for us. Tell us about them.
I do. Inventory is building up. We just got a new price on my VA-owned property out in Yoder. It's on 35 acres, priced at $179. I mean, the land is almost worth that much. It needs a little bit of repairs, but it's got a metal roof, and with a little bit of cosmetic help, you're walking into equity. Another great home, very similar like that, up in the mountains, 5413 County Road 100 in Florissant, on 2 acres, priced at $240, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, really great little mountain cabin for someone that wants to get away at just $240,000. We have another home in the southwest part of town in Autumn Heights, Unit A, priced at $299. This home has basically 2 master suites, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2-car garage, great lot, and priced at $299. We also have a really fabulous home kind of close to Union and Circle on 2436 North Meade Avenue, priced at $325. Great home, updated windows, hardwood flooring, really nice 1-car garage rather, priced at $325. And then new to the market down in Lorson Ranch, this home also owned by the VA, 6613 Mumford Drive, priced at $335. So it's a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, nice lot. It does have a little bit of cosmetic work needed. The appliance, almost all of the appliances are missing. Somebody stole the quartz counters on the countertop. which is dumb, on the island. And other than that, a buyer could get into a home that would normally sell for about 400,000 at a good price and finance those little minor repairs into their loan. Also have another great house on down in Fountain on North El Paso. This is a low price 4-bedroom, 2-bath house, big yard and lot. And that one previously had some kind of freeze break. It's kind of flood cut in the basement, but you could live in the home on the main level and take your time fixing up the basement level, which is all functioning now. And it's priced at $300,500. So, if you look back in history, Richard, back during the boom, you couldn't buy anything for less than 400,000. And it was a love shack.
At all, at all. I mean, the times change, and that's why I recommend you, Barb, because you have been doing this for a time. You've seen it go up and down, and you've gone through all of the various cycles.
Yeah, we have another great home in Woodland Park. This is really a cool older home on a scenic location. It has a 2-car garage in the back. It's 3 bedrooms, 1 1/4 baths, nice kitchen, priced in the mid threes. Another house that's probably going to be gone by the time this airs, down in Lorson Ranch. Low priced. It's a fixer-upper, but it has good bones. That one has a bunch of offers. We have another VA property on Bramble Lane, priced in the mid threes. Hitting the market this week. We'll be featuring it this weekend on Solar Face Court, priced at $399,800. A ranch with a finished basement, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, and 2-car. And then coming very soon, this amazing home out on Judge Orr Road. This property is on 80 acres, is priced at $1.39 million. It actually has an auxiliary dwelling unit, a beautiful custom main home. It's got 2 barns. There's enough space to handle at least 10 cars parked inside. It really is a very special property, so I'm excited to present that to the market. Another two homes in the 80920 zip code, one in Fairfax in Briargate on Stable Court, backs to open space at 539.9. We also have a beautiful one on Ross Drive on 1 acre with 4-car garage, really nice home, gorgeous yard in the mid 7s. Great home in Florissant in the mid 4s on a couple of acres. And then this home just had some updating on Capitol Peak Way, low 5s, fresh carpet, in great condition, backs to open space at 519. Amazing home on Broadmoor Bluffs Drive at 649.9. This home backs to NORAD. Great lot, beautiful views. And then one of my colleagues has a beautiful 2-story with a 3-car garage at 700,000 on Mineral Belt Drive, plus a gorgeous lot up in Lake George on Hidden Valley. And that one has the potential of having 5 acres. So if you want to find out about all of our properties, go to barbhasthebuyers.com and click on featured homes at the top, and you'll be able to see all of them. And if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call, 719-301-3900, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Barb Schlinker on Your Real Estate Voice. If you're thinking of selling your home and want to get the most amount of money when you do so, call Barb, 719-301-3900, or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. Great talking to you this week. Be safe. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.